How's it going, everybody? This is Brian for Pop Culture Crossing, and today we are talking about Brooklyn, the film that chronicles a young Irish immigrant's experience in New York in the early 1950s. So the movie follows Eilis Lacey. I cannot say that without an Irish accent. Sorry, I digress. But it follows Eilis through her adventures in coming to America and overcoming the struggles with being in a foreign place alone, and how she overcame those things and her personal growth and development through that process. Now, Brooklyn progresses at a very crisp pace. I had thought that they would spend more time with her actual travel from Ireland to New York, but that was not the case. The actual travel really only took a few minutes in the overall movie, but most of the movie focuses on Eilis actually in New York and how she overcame the natural feelings of homesickness and depression and loneliness, and her interactions with friends and coworkers and meeting others, especially romantic interest, and how all those things coalesce together to help Eilis grow and mature more as a person. Now, Eilis meets a young man at a church dance. The house in which she lives is a kind of boarding house. It's owned by an older woman who helps house younger immigrant women, and she and some of her housemates go to a dance in an attempt to meet boys. And luckily, Eilis does meet a young Italian plumber named Tony, and the two start their relationship, and that progresses pretty quickly as well. But it feels natural, and it didn't feel forced or horseshoed into the story. But that element specifically of her relationship really helps her develop and overcome her, homesickness. Eilis returns to Ireland, but before she had left, she and Tony actually decided to get married, but Eilis didn't tell any of her family back in Ireland. While she is home, pretty much the two worlds collide. The old world that she had left when she moved to New York, and the new world and new person that she had become in New York. So her friends and family in Ireland have changed very little, but Eilis herself has changed a lot and has had a lot of more dynamic experiences than those in her small Irish village. So these two collide, and throughout her time in Ireland, Eilis is presented with, situations where her friends and family try to set her up with an Irish man because they don't know that she is married. But as that develops, she is presented with a potentially life-changing decision that she has to make. I'm not going to spoil it, so you'll have to figure out what that is and watch it on your own. Now, Saoirse Ronan's performance is excellent and convincing. Part of that probably has to do with the fact that she herself is Irish, but I think that makes her portrayal of Eilis more dynamic and adds additional layers of depth and authenticity to it. Now, Eilis's character arc is one of the best developed character arcs that I have seen in any of the recent movies that I have watched. She starts out as this timid young woman who is, going on this new experience, and she struggles like most people would. And through her time with her new life, she learns to adapt and grow and mature. And by the end of the movie, she has pretty much come full circle. This isn't really a spoiler, but at the beginning of the movie, when she is on the boat going to Ireland or to New York, her cabin mate is a woman who has traveled more, and she's more experienced, and she knows how to interact with others on a boat and how to compose yourself in America and not really stick out, and how to really assimilate. And by the end of the movie, Eilis has essentially become that type of a character. Emery Cohen displays his talent by portraying Tony, the love interest. Now, Cohen and Ronan's on-screen chemistry is really good and it feels authentic and is a lot of fun to watch. Not surprisingly, Cohen and Ronan are the principals, so they really are the ones that stand out and really steal the movie. The supporting cast is good and they deliver solid performances, but the real standouts are Eilis and Tony. Though I must note that the supporting cast is quite diverse in its own right. There are several, whether it's British, Irish, or Canadian actors, they all do a great job in their own respective roles. So the production design, the set pieces, and the wardrobe all capture what I think early 1950s America would have looked like. And they do so in an authentic way. It doesn't stand out as, feeling like, oh, they're trying too hard and, they didn't really get it right. They do get it right. Everything looks great. It seems like there's very few elements of CG. It's pretty well blended in and is hard to detect. There was one element when Eilis was on the boat traveling to New York. She and her cabin mate were on the deck overlooking the ocean and the sunset, and that stood out to me as them being in front of green. But to the casual viewer that's looking for a romance movie, that they probably won't notice that, and that's kind of more of a nitpicky thing anyways. John Crowley does a great job directing the film. This is personally my first movie of his that I have seen, and I believe it's his first period piece. So given the way that how well Brooklyn turned out, if he ever were to direct another historical period styled piece, I would be very intrigued to watch it because I really enjoyed Brooklyn. So overall, Brooklyn is a warm and heartfelt tale facing challenges, growing as an individual, but ultimately it's a love story. Now, it doesn't really have very, comedic effects, so I wouldn't really classify it as a romantic comedy. It is light and there are some funny moments, but it isn't, a straight up rom-com type of movie. But it is an enjoyable watch. And I was especially happy that they seem to accurately capture the 1950s values of the time, and they didn't take 21st century values and just shoehorn that into a 1950s aesthetic. So I really respected that in my opinion. So whether you're looking for just a nice enjoyable movie, or if you like that time period, or if you're looking for a fun romantic style of movie, you won't be disappointed with Brooklyn, and I hope you check it out. Thanks for watching, and please comment below and keep the conversation going. What did you think of the movie? Did you think that, it was an accurate portrayal of immigrant life in the 50s, or do you think it was too light and too soft? Did you think that the movie was deserving of the nominations that it won and that it got overshadowed by the other nominees, or do you think it shouldn't have been nominated at all? Feel free to tweet me at the address below, and also check out a written review on popculturecrossing.com with some more details about Brooklyn. And also, if you could please help me by subscribing to the YouTube channel and help me get a custom URL, I would appreciate that. And I appreciate your support and your watching this video. Thanks. Bye.